I'm not hearing anything. Hello, and welcome to the CRM Zen Show, where we talk about all things Zoho. This is episode 251. Oh, the places you go. Oogle. Um, little shout out to Dr. Seuss there. Recorded on Friday, May 19th, 2023. We are live, and from Zenatta Consulting, I'm Brett Martin.
And I'm Tyler Colt, and let's get right on into the show.
Yeah, I
That's
got
quite the
thrown off
title
there,
there
Freddie.
this
I didn't
morning.
hear that intro music counting down, and it just jumped right up on us. How's your week been, buddy?
Oh, doing good. Doing good, getting ready for the weekend. Been kind of traveling, family in town and stuff over the last few. So good to do a little bit of nothing. How about you?
Yes, good week. It's my anniversary this weekend, so Tina and I are
Um,
heading off to Palm Springs right after this show,
Very
and
nice.
gonna relax down there, but using some Marriott points, so that's a
Excellent.
good thing. Never get to use them. I finally got to use them. It's good, you know. Normally you go and you're like, oh no, sorry, they're not available at this time, but. Enough of that. Let us jump right. We've got a big, long show. So, with that, I guess we should get right on to it with some announcements and events. Over on Club Z is where you will find all of the upcoming events in the world of Zoho. And so, if you click on the home screen there, you will see everything that is coming up. You've got the Zoho Books Guided Tour coming up on May 2nd. Well, I guess that happened already. Huh, just leftover. Anyway, on May 24th, 5 common data and analytics pitfalls, transforming data collection coming up. Oh, there's so much stuff. And then if you go over to the side here to announcements, events, you click on Zenatta, you'll see what we've got going on. As always, it is a lot of CRM Zens and Azaz. That's what's going to roll out this month. And then in June, we're doing a Zoho Flow full product overview. I did not know we were doing that, Tyler. That's uh that's going to be
Who knows
interesting.
who's
Who
going to do
is
that one?
doing
Probably
that?
me. Probably me and someone. I don't know. We'll have to figure that one
You
out.
and someone? Yeah, I'm not going to be helpful there. You know, I could do some flow, but I don't know if that would what
They
would
don't want to
happen
see
there.
that.
Anyway, and July, we're going to be doing Boost Your Productivity with Zoho Bookings, Calendar, and Meetings. That's a triple threat. We're doing all three in one there. August, we're going to be doing a Zoho Voice full product overview. And then in September, Zoho Sales IQ. And a lot's been going on with Sales IQ. So that's what we've got coming up, besides, of course, CRM Zen and Azaz. And that is all over at Club Zenatta. And if you head over to Club Zenatta, you can join in our general discussion and just talk about anything you want to talk about. You can go to our code share. You can ask us questions for Azaz, which is a show that we do every single Wednesday that drops, where we answer all of your questions that you may have about Zoho. And if you ever missed one of those shows, we keep a whole back catalog of all the shows and all the questions we did there as well. And with that, Tyler, let's jump right on into the news. All right, Zoho has rolled out domain mapping in for the CRM now. So they've had this for quite a while, I think, on Desk and some other various features, but now you can actually do it inside the CRM. What does that mean? Rather than have go to crm.zoho.com, you can now go to sales.zenatta.com or Zeitler Travels or whatever the case may be, and you can actually have a custom domain. So your team is actually living on your domain and going over to that. So kind of nice.
Yeah, always a good update. I mean, these things obviously aren't going to change anything about the functionality in the system. It's still going to be the same old CRM that you've been using, but kind of nice to be able to just brand this based on your own organization. So, kind of a nice one to have. I would imagine a lot of the various Zoho apps will get this if they don't have it already. But yeah, kudos to Zoho. Nice update. Nothing life changing, but a
Yeah.
nice one nonetheless.
Yep. And the article in here will give you your step by step, everything you need to do to go ahead and map your domain. And moving on with the news here. So, introducing metrics in Zoho Creator's centralized visual dashboard to stay informed about usage statistics. So, Tyler, I was reading through this. Is this going to look at a specific creator app or all of your creator apps?
Yeah, I
Do you
mean, it
know?
looks currently like it's looking really across all of the creator apps, kind of slicing it based on who's accessing applications, are any of them not being touched, various kind of usage within each application. Looks like they do slice it to a certain degree. If you're watching us on YouTube, you'll see on the right hand side, they've got that usage by hit count, and that does seem to be split up by each application that people are accessing. Nice one to have. I mean, really being able to see all this stuff, ideally being able to see API information and all of that as well across the system is great to have as a system admin. So a lot of this stuff does look to be more on that kind of usage level. Are people logging in? Are they touching? Are they hitting the applications? So just being able to consolidate all of that, especially when, what we're finding is there is a pretty nice use case to split things up into various creator applications sometimes, kind of keep
Yeah.
different departments a little bit more segmented. So again, just being able to kind of roll all that up. Nice thing is
I
it's
will.
also looking at portal users, and so not
Yep.
just your internal users of the application. So if you built out a client portal, you could actually log in and see which pages are people touching, which ones are they not using, right? Do we want to guide them to any of those areas? So yeah, nice update there, kind of at a system admin level for creator.
Yep. This is only going to be available in Creator version 6, though. Going to roll out here this month, is rolling out this month. So maybe another reason to make that big jump. I know it's one that we're very having some trepidation about. It's a big move to move to
Yeah,
Creator
and you
6,
have to
but
switch creator versions. It is a bit of a challenge for your existing applications.
yes, yeah. And I think we our app what we have one application with about 5,000 hours of development or something like that, right? It'll be a lot. Hopefully it won't break. All right, and then moving on, you now have validation rules in Zoho Recruit. So basically, this is the example they give if you're watching us on YouTube is someone is putting in their information. They're kind of running through it, and they say, "I love this." They have a bachelor's in engineering, but they only allow people that are postgraduate candidates. So by $10,000 a year, that person's really dying. But anyway, you can now have validation rules in Recruit that will basically reject people based upon the criteria they put in or accept them.
Yeah, and these are essentially related to other fields, right? So if you put this validation rule that said that a BE wasn't enough for one job, it doesn't mean that it's going to apply to every single job in the system.
Right.
So you can make these pretty dynamic. We use them a ton inside of CRM. So always good to kind of have that on the recruit side as well, given that the applications work very similarly.
Very cool. And moving on with the news this week, it's the what happened in Writer and what updates in Zoho Writer. Um, Basically, if you the Zoho Puvi font is now available. I love this font, by the way. It's a nice
I
looking
think it's
font.
great. Yeah, I think they did a real nice job on it.
They really, really did. So that's the font that basically you see on pretty much every Zoho app. So when you're in the CRM, that's the Puvi font. They developed that, I want to say, what, a year and a half ago or so, rolled it out. And
Yeah.
now you've got it inside of Writer. You can flip up your dark mode preferences. That's a big one for you, Tyler, being a dark
Absolutely.
mode kind of guy.
Be curious to see if you were to export a document while it was dark mode, if it would come out dark mode. We did find recently that if you're using a dark mode plugin inside of campaigns, I have a little Chrome extension. Wayne, our director of marketing, I think uses the same one as me, where you can kind of turn any page in a dark mode. And we found it actually changed the content of the emails that you were building while you had that plugin turned on. So hopefully this doesn't do that if you wanted to actually take it out in a non-dark mode version.
Yeah,
Looks like the other update, and we had talked about this, I think, earlier in the month, that they have started rolling out ChatGPT across really tons of different applications, including
yeah.
Zoho Writer. So being able to say, give me a headline, turn this into bullets, clean up the language here, just natively there within the Writer app is pretty slick. Huge time saver.
Yeah, pretty cool. I mean, I Chat GPT is just, software. Well, when software's eating the world, I think AI is going to eat software. It's just amazing what it's done. And now you've also got some auto formatting, auto correcting. Also very, very nice. We talk about this a lot, Tyler. This team, the whole Zoho Office team, just they're constantly on it. The number of updates they do, the speed which they roll these things out, very very cool. So kudos to the team. I love Zoho Rider. All right, let's move on. Zoho Sign integration now with OpenAI via Zia.
Why not?
So you say why? Why? Why would I want this? Well, the example they're giving here, and I think it's the only thing it does right now, is it does a summary. So you're sending a document for signature, and a person wants to know what's this about. They don't really feel like they want to read it. Uh, they can go up and before they finish the document, there's a little more actions button, and part of it is summarize this document for me. So when they summarize the document, gives them a brief summary of what it says. I'm not sure a lawyer would say you should trust this, but
I think a lawyer would specifically say you shouldn't trust this.
trust it. But
Yeah,
if you're in a
maybe.
hurry, yeah, you can. It's going to give you a quick summary of
I
the
try
document that
not to
you're
do my
about to sign.
contract signing when I'm in a hurry, kind of in general. I try to avoid signing things in a rush, but can't hurt. I mean, look, maybe it'll give you a summary and highlight something that you want to read more about in the contract, right? It might
Right.
mention a certain clause or something and give you a place to, focus in and figure something out. But again, nice to have. Definitely pretty specific use case. Probably not a life changer for anybody, but anything that you can do to make your contracts easier to read and sign is a good thing, right?
Yep. Absolutely. It was funny. I remember you talk about reading contracts. People want to send us NDAs all the time, and I don't know if you remember that one NDA we got where we're like, sure, send it over, and I'm scanning it, and I see a dollar sign in there, and it was like, if you do anything, we don't even have to prove it because court costs are high. You know, you owe us $100,000 or something like that. It's like, I don't think this is going to work. So read your contracts. You never know what's going
Always
to
read
be
them.
in. Even an innocuous NDA could sneak up on you. All right, and moving on with the news here. This one I didn't realize this was even a thing, but we talked about this a while ago. How Bigin added team pipelines, and it turns
Yep.
out if you don't, you have to move to team pipelines because at the end of the month here, you're just going to be migrated to it anyway.
Huh.
So,
I honestly thought this was just a feature that got added. I didn't know there was kind of a changeover step that you needed to do.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
me
if you
either.
haven't done it yet, team pipelines, as a quick reminder for people who may have missed that episode or maybe don't remember every little kind of nuance that we talk about here. Team pipelines are essentially a way to group and kind of cascade pipelines together, right? So you could have a prospecting pipeline lead into the sales pipeline, lead into the onboarding pipeline, right, as kind of an ongoing process. So it's really slick. It actually works great inside of Bigin. So yeah, if you haven't switched over yet, go ahead and do it. If not, they're going to do it for you. So just be ready for that. It looks like coming in at the end of May.
Yes, sirree, Bob. All right, Tyler, we're going to mix things up a little bit. We normally do the implementation of the week here, and then we go into code share. But for a little bit of continuity, and it'll make sense to everybody who's watching us here, we're going to reverse that, and we're going to actually start with this week's code share. So this is a fun one. Greg actually was working on a project for me, and one of the things we wanted to do is we wanted to look and see if the Google Places API is accessible and what kind of information you could get from it. And it turns out you can get a lot of information from the Google Places API. So basically, and you can get it by not only a company name, but really kind of as a unique identifier, you can get it from a phone number. So on the code share here, we're showing you how to get that information from the Google Places API. And
And you
you
guys
say, well,
found, I
what?
mean, this gives you a ton of information, right? This isn't just like the name. I mean, it's the reviews, the aggregates, the business
Everything.
hours. I mean, like everything that Google knows about this business just comes back, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. As a matter of fact, let's kind of show you what that would look like. So we don't ever do this with a with our code share, but we're going to kind of show this in place here. So I'm going to give you an example. So here is a restaurant, and it is called Kotobuki. And so basically, I've looked them up, and you can see I've actually searched by phone number, and Kotobuki comes up. But you could just type their name in here. So what I'm going to do, you say, how does this relate to Zoho? Well, I'm going to go and I'm going to copy this phone number. And now I'm going to go into an instance of Zoho. Um, this is specific to a company that tracks all of corkage fees for restaurants. If you're not familiar, corkage is when a person brings a bottle, their own bottle of wine into a restaurant. Many restaurants say that's okay, but we're going to charge you $15, $50, depends on what the fee is here. So, and they post this up to a website. So but they're basically creating, they want to keep a database of what the corkage is. So I've got a blank listing here. And so I'm just going to put an X in the restaurant name, and I'm going to go down to the phone number, and I'm going to drop the phone number in, get rid of that +1. And so now I've got the phone number, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save it. And as you can see, here it is. It's a blank record. It's got the phone number. It's got an X, and boom. Just like that. That is what that little bit of code share script did. Went out, got the information, and then wrote it directly to this record. I don't know. I never get tired of watching that, Tyler. I just
It is a
think it's
cool one. It's a very cool
yep.
one, just using
You
that
say
phone number.
yeah, it got the restaurant, it got this, it put in a little overview of it. It got the Google ratings, 209 ratings. The
There's all the
price is
hours down
$1.
there below.
Yep. Pulled in all of the hours for the restaurant, pulled in their address, basically just pulled in all of this information. I happen to know that this place charges a $15 corkage fee, and it's per bottle, and it happens to be no limit. I happen to go here occasionally, and it's a sushi restaurant, right? So pretty nice, to get that data. And so you say, well, that's cool. It's in the CRM. You've got a nice database there. What do you do with that? What do you do with it? Well, we're going to talk about what you do with that. So, with that, let's head on over to the implementation of the week, shall we? So, step two of this implementation of the week was saying, well, we have all this data in a CRM, and wouldn't it be interesting if we were to push that data up to a WordPress site? So we discovered there are a couple things. There are two WordPress plugins we're using. One is called Mini Orange WordPress REST API Authentication, and then Advanced Custom Fields. So basically, the Mini Orange is getting all the API data, and Advanced Custom Fields, if you haven't played with it inside WordPress, allows you to really, really do some super nice formatting inside of your WordPress pages. And so basically, you can use your CRM to push data live in real time to a WordPress site, which is pretty cool in and of itself. We have a lot of clients that they've asked this. You've got, real estate. I mean, I don't know, Tyler. There seem to be so many different types of companies we've talked to that say, "Hey, we want to just push some data live," right? And
Yeah.
oftentimes we have to do it as a portal, right? So
Yeah, a lot of
it's
times you have to get a portal with a login, right? But it's not always like the best user experience. I mean, recently, I was talking to a prospect, and they're not ready to jump into Zoho yet, but they do certifications. They create a bunch of different standardized certifications that then entire industries need to use. And they want to manage that whole process of creating the certification in Zoho. Once it's done, it needs to be published, right? And like for a lot of people, publishing means getting it on a website, right? Getting it on their
right.
website. So it's really cool. There's just kind of just an infinite number of different use cases where you might want to have certain data in CRM and just have it mirror onto your website within kind of a standardized page.
Yeah, so let's show another example of that. So I'm going back into the back end of a WordPress site here, and you can see here are all of the listings that you have for these various restaurants. So I'll go back into the CRM, and we've got a little button we created here, which is Sync Advanced Custom Fields to BYOB, which happens to be the name of the website. So I click the button, it's grabbing the data from the CRM and it's writing it directly over to the WordPress site. Now it says it was updated successfully. I think it was just taking a little bit of time to push it over there. So now let's see if we go ahead and we view this link, if the data has pulled over, and boom, it all pulled
There
over.
it is.
Has all of the hours in, all of the information, the corkage, everything ready to go, their address, and you basically have created a WordPress page on the fly dynamically. So if this is something, and I will tell you, when we did this, we originally, you can see there's 3,000 listings here. They were all pushed up at once in one big felled swoop. So we wrote a script for that. Very, very easy to do. Anyway, I think it's just a pretty cool implementation across the board there, Tyler.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a super fun one.
Yeah,
So let us know if this would help you.
very, very fun. All right. And with that, let's get on into our read of the week. We're going to go talk about AI some more, Tyler. HubSpot did a state of AI report. I guess this will be a new thing. They surveyed 1,300 plus business professionals, and we're trying to figure out how they feel, how those people feel AI is going to impact their business. Pretty interesting stuff here. So, they're saying marketers are going to save 3+ hours on creating a piece of content. Sales pros 2+ hours a day, service reps 2+ hours a day. These are all kind of gut checks, I would think, across the board. But you were talking to me earlier about we had to create a little marketing program, and you basically were able to do the entire thing with the help of Chat GPT and a glass of wine in like 15 minutes, right?
Just about. I mean, so, we've been working on creating different training programs and kind of options for people that they can sign up for through our website. And we wanted to offer a kind of temporary discount code, to people and, send out a couple emails about it. And, for me, I'm never sure, well, how many emails is the normal amount? What should the topics of those emails be? Should I send one every other day, every 7 days? Should I adjust the cadence over time? There's just infinite numbers of questions that I might want to ask that could take a lot of time, right? Of me kind of researching, reading articles, reading blogs, figuring out what's normal. Yeah, like you mentioned on a Friday night, about 15 minutes of just chatting with ChatGPT had kind of like a whole go to market strategy, like what emails to send, what delays to put on them, what the topics of those emails should be, right? Based on who we are and the types of things that we're looking to sell. I mean, it's something that could have taken a lot of thought and effort that, we were just able to get across the line so quickly. Right. And then the human judgment comes in later, right? We're going to run it for a bit. And then Wayne, our director of marketing, will probably take a look at it and go, okay, we're getting some drop off here. We need to tweak this. Right. But for getting that initial kind of 0 to 1, like to be able to turn it on and start gathering that data, I mean, it's hard to beat. Right. I know Freddie, our producer, uses it religiously, right, to create graphics, content, everything like that for the show. So it helps a lot, right, at the end of the day.
Yeah, it does. And I mean, this is what we were talking about earlier. Zoho's now embedded it into Writer. And, you basically grab the opening paragraph and say, give me a good title for this article. Um, you know, clean this up, check it. I mean, rewrite it, make it step. I mean, just a lot of time saving across. I mean, just amazing. I mean, I imagine soon we'll have our first novels completely written by ChatGPT, right? Um,
With the writer's
which
strike,
is
it'll probably be TV. My bet will be a TV show that's just straight written by AI, given that big strike going on right now.
So I guess the whole new world is people who actually know how to properly phrase questions for Chat GPT, right? That's going to be a new job profession.
Yeah, what was it?
People who,
AI engineer, AI
Pro-
prompt
AI
engineer.
engineer.
Prompt engineer,
Yeah,
yeah.
Prompt engineer. So anyway, this is they really asked a whole lot of questions here, and I think if you want to read this article, head on over to the HubSpot blog, or it'll be in our we'll have a link to it in our newsletter. But quite interesting, and I think at the end of the day, it's just pretty much agreed to that it's here to stay, and it's going to change things. They keep saying they don't think it's going to take away jobs. Um, I don't know. I don't think it will right now in this case, but I will tell you, it sure does make anybody who's doing their job can make them a heck of a lot more efficient, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it
So,
eliminates jobs, but I think it reduces the number of people you might need in a department, right? Rather than having 10 graphic designers, you might have your best two, right? Who are just
yeah,
enabled to be 5 times more productive, right? By using some of these tools. So that'll be
yeah,
the interesting thing. Then on the flip side, it'll make it much more easy to start a new business. And I don't know if you've seen certain AI tools that can build you entire web apps just with prompts. I watched a
right.
demo of one where they had built an entire app for a dog sitting service with a homepage, a product page, a sign in, like the whole thing end to end in like 30 minutes of chat prompts. And the out the door cost would have been like $100 because it's done by an AI. So those
Amazing.
jobs might go away, but a lot of them might be able to use these tools to get their own thing going pretty quickly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
Greg
this
says
is
it's going to change jobs. That's a good way to put it.
I agree. Yeah. And I love the prompting here, right? How many prompts did a marketer have to put into the AI to get their desired goal? Right. So it appears that three is the
It's a magic
51%.
number.
Three prompts gets it done, right? Two going the next. I find that's kind of about right. Probably two to three to kind of get
Yeah.
exactly what you're looking for. All right. With that, let's head right on over to Zenatta and see what's happening over there. All right. So Cody and Josh did our webinar this month, and it was a big one on inventory, Shopify, and WooCommerce best practices. A whole lot going on. I think a long webinar as well. I don't know, an hour and 20
Or 20.
minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
it
is
was a
honestly quick
long
for how much
webinar.
stuff was covered here. Like, they got through a lot. I mean, full kind of overview of the core elements of inventory. I mean, we do have some specific videos on that, but I know the guys wanted to make sure they kind of set the foundation there of what you need to know on the inventory side. And then a run through of Shopify, WooCommerce, and now I learned this morning they also found time somehow to do a quick Zoho commerce run through.
Right.
And kind of maybe highlight why we why we don't recommend it all the time. But yeah, great webinar. I mean, for really across the board, any type of e-commerce project you're working on, this is
Yep.
well worth taking a look at.
Fantastic stuff. All right. And as always, if you are on Zenatta.com, this is where you will find everything. You will find our resource library, where we keep track of everything we've ever written, recorded, done about any and every Zoho app. You can kind of click into it. CRM's the big one, and all of our resources are broken down, and you can take a look at it there. It's where we archive all of the CRM Zen shows. So if you say, gosh, I didn't get a newsletter, you can go ahead and look. And not only do we have the show there, but basically everything that we talked about in the show as well as implementations. Those are all there. Our blogs, head on over to Zenatta.com. We've got probably something for everybody over there. And with that, let's get to our tip of the week. So, Tyler, we talk about Azaz, and this tip actually came from the Azaz show we did, which is someone wanting to know how they can remove ticket numbers from Zoho Desk email responses. And Greg covered that on the show in kind of some great details. We've kind of broken it down as a separate tip. Interesting question, but I can see a lot of use cases for this.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, most people want to remove it from most of their responses. I mean, the ticket number is just, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It has meaning to your internal team, but not always to a customer. What a lot of people like to do is take it out of the subject line and maybe put it in like the footer of the email, right? So that you still want to give your customer that number, but it just in the subject line is a little bit too front and center. So Greg kind of shows a couple places where it might be when you're initially creating a ticket or when you're responding via templates. So there's a few places you'll need to check. Pretty quick video. I think it's like 3 minutes, right? So
Yeah.
definitely one that just a quick hitter here. But it's actually a question that we've definitely got before, right? So we thought it would be good to just carve it out and get it out there for everybody.
Fantastic. And if you don't know, head over to our YouTube channel. It's where we kind of keep everything. All of our videos are there. We've arranged them for you. You will find everything you want here. If you're in Zoho and you're trying to figure something out, we can at least get you headed in the right direction. So just head over to youtube.com/Zenatta, hit that subscribe button, hit the reminder button, and away you go. All right, Tyler, that is going to wrap it up for another exciting edition of the CRM Zen Show.
It's
We're
a
coming
fun
up on
one.
6 years, or coming up on
Yeah,
five
what
years,
is it?
right?
It'd be what do we did the math last time? Was it 256? No,
No, it'll be a
260.
260. So I think we're 9 weeks
260.
away.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So
creeping
nine
up
weeks.
on
So
it.
a couple of months, and we'll have that big show. I know the team's been preparing for that one, so I'm looking forward to that. And to wrap this thing up, as always, if you would like to contact us over here at Zenatta, please head over to zenatta.com and click on book a meeting. We'd be happy to talk with you.
On the website is where you'll find complete episodes of the show, as well as links to all the stories we discussed today. If you want that news delivered to your inbox every single Monday, be sure to subscribe to our newsletter. And we would love and appreciate if you would like and subscribe here on YouTube as well, as that really does help us out and make sure that our future videos will show up for you. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Have a great weekend, everybody.